Hello, everybody. I hope that you are enjoying your Friday as we slowly roll into Erev Shabbat and to Shabbat as we begin the Torah. It is the Torah portion of Bereshit in the book of Bereshit. So here we are at the beginning of the beginning of the beginning. As a rabbi, I'm obligated to make the terrible joke that the start of the Torah is also connected very deeply to baseball because it's in the big inning. Oof. It's tough every year, but it's like an obligation I have to do. All right, so we're in the book of Genesis, and if you see behind me, actually, the images I have a peanut butter and jelly image behind me, and I want to share with you. I'm going to read it to you directly from the information that I have. So, um, the J.M. Smucker Company, so Smuckers essentially, is suing Trader Joe's, alleging the grocery chain's new frozen peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are similar to the Smucker's Uncrustable in their design and packaging. In the lawsuit, which was filed Monday in federal court in Ohio, Smucker said that the round, crustless sandwiches Trader Joe's sells have the same pie-like crimp markings on their edges that Uncrustables do. Smucker said that the design violates their trademark. So we are having a peanut butter and jelly war. And so I wanted to bring this to your attention because of all the things happening on the planet, which we've been following clearly with hostages, thank God, being home, and a constant conversation about where the other souls of Israelis that were promised by Hamas and all these other things happening in the world. I thought we'd take a break and talk about a good sandwich. That being said, there is, of course, the dialogue in regards to peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I don't know if you're a peanut butter and jelly fan. I don't know if you're a jelly fan. I don't know if you're a peanut butter fan. But if you put them together, there's all kinds of dialogue also about how you build your sandwich, what goes into your sandwich, what kind of peanut butter that you like. Do you like the smooth, the crunchy, the different brands of the peanut butter? Lots of very important conversations regarding peanut butter and jelly. Do you put, I actually know someone who peanut butters both sides as to protect the jelly in the middle and not get soggy. Lots of intricacies. Why do I tell you this? Because the Torah portion this week is about the creation of the world. And God, there are two creation stories. The first is the one that God creates the world. That's on day one, God creates this. On day two, God creates that, so on and so forth. The second creation story is about Adam and Eve. But I want to talk about the first creation story, the one that discusses, on day one, God creates this. On day two, God creates this. And the structure in which God sets forth the building, if you will, of the world, only God can do because God creates light and dark, and then God creates waters, and then above and below, and then God creates some form of land, some kind of a section that separates the land and the water, so we could live there. And then the creation story goes on and on and on until animals are created, and then humans are created, and that there's no way to have done the creation of animals or people until there was land, until there was vegetation, because then we wouldn't be able to survive. So God, of course, knows the structure of these things. And I have been thinking about this peanut butter and jelly reference because I think it connects. I don't know if you'll think so, or you have done this before, but when I was in elementary school, maybe even into middle school, our our teachers uh, brought like a closed peanut butter and a closed jelly with a knife and a plate, and they asked us verbally to say, all right, build the sandwich. So, of course, many of us said, you take the peanut butter, take the jelly, put it onto the bread. And so they would literally do that. They would not open up the bread. They would not open up the peanut butter. They would not open up the jelly. They would literally just plop the peanut butter on top of a closed container of bread, a bag of bread, and then we would slowly learn about the importance of directions, the importance of why step one is step one and step three is step three. And if you don't do that, then it's kind of a disaster and you can't eat your sandwich. You can't do anything else. And so I think this is the beauty of God's creation, which, by the way, is very different than the creation story with Adam and Eve, because once we get Adam and Eve, humanity sort of messes up already right at the beginning of the story. And so I invite us on the Shabbat to think about the structure of our lives. Are we doing now? We passed Rosh Hashanah, we passed Yom Kippur, we're past all of Sukkot, our beautiful moment to sit outside and appreciate God, the presence of God, and to think of rain and seasons and what our ancestors were doing to create farmland for themselves. We passed Simchat Torah, the chance to dance with the Torahs and to reflect on the end of the Torah and now the beginning of the Torah. So we've had all of these moments, and so I'm asking us in this organizational way. We have all these moments we've talked about. How are we going to organize our lives now? What's going to be step one, step two, step three? We said we were going to make these changes for ourselves. What will those changes look like? What will they, how are we going to take those steps? And I think that's vital steps, because if you take the peanut butter that's closed and you don't open it and peel off that little seal and then find the knife and then do all those steps and have the plate, then it doesn't work that way. And I think that God is showing us that there are steps to everything that we have to do and that we have to have a plan. So now that we said we were going to fix all the things we said we are going to fix, how are we going to do it? And that is our challenge, our thought as we move into the book of the first book of the Torah and the first Torah portion in the book of the first book of the Torah. So not only would I like for us to maybe have some peanut butter and jelly, but when you hear this, or sometime on Shabbat, I'm going to try and have some peanut butter and jelly sometime over Shabbat, but also the deeper thought on how are we going to literally put together these steps in our lives the way that we said we were going to. Services are not that far away from us. They are at 7 p.m. tonight. And then tomorrow morning, of course, is our Torah study and service at 8:30. And we look forward to seeing you all very, very soon. And Shabbat Shalom.